Hi everyone, I'm coming at you to update you for my surgery that's coming up, my vertical gastric sleeve surgery. Pretty excited, just did the numbers and it's only 28 days till I hop on the plane to leave. And it's actually 29 days for my surgery. So one thing I kind of noticed was tonight, it's March 7th, and April 7th is actually the day that I board the plane and I come home. So a month from today, I will be done and on my way home. I'm pretty excited. So I wanted just to say hello and introduce myself to some of the people that don't know who I am. My name is Rachel, and I am using weight loss surgery for life. I went through Trish, who's a weight loss coordinator. She's amazing, like amazing. I remember when I looked into this about 5 years ago, her name was all over the place about how attentive she is and the care that she gives and the extra special stuff. So it was just one of those things when I decided to revisit this, I had to find her. So she was my first step. I found her. And then I searched through some of the doctors that I could use, and I was really excited that I settled on Dr. Jaime Ponce De Leon. That's how you say it. He's actually a chief bariatric surgeon, which is awesome. He's been doing surgeries for about 22 years, has a lot of experience, does all of the training, and he also does all of the extreme weight loss makeovers for the Mexico region. So I am having my surgery at the INT hospital in Tijuana, Mexico. I am choosing not to tell anybody about my decision until after I return. And some people I may not tell them at all. They knew I've been on a weight loss journey for the last several years. They know I'm working at it, and there's just some people that are ignorant enough and not educated enough that I just don't plan on telling them anything other than I'm working really hard. My mom is going with me, and I just found out tonight that one of my dearest friends who lives in San Diego, actually Temecula, is going to come with me. I'm so excited. Our husbands were in the military together, and we actually only physically in person were friends for a little over a year until we moved, and we have kept our friendship for 15 years. So I have not seen her in person since, and she actually just had Roux Y done about a year ago, and is started at 271 and is down to 155 pounds. Looks amazing. And we were talking tonight about how she's like, Rachel, she's like, this is going to change your life. Like, I know you've lost a lot of weight, but people will treat you differently. She's like, I get more smiles. She says, people open doors for me. People are just friendlier, more willing to want to help me. She's like, it's sad, but she's like, people really treat you differently. And I've noticed that. I mean, I've noticed, trust me. Some people are just not as nice to people that carry extra weight as other people are. So, it's their own issue, right? So I wanted to give you some stats. My highest weight was 387. That was after a bout of massive steroids. I had severe asthma, chronic bronchitis, in and out of the hospitals all the time. And there was a period of time that I just kept being given prednisone over and over and over and over again, and it just ballooned in my face. My face was huge. My body was huge. My ankles were ginormous. I had pitting edema. I could stick my finger in my foot and it would just leave a hole about that big. It was horrible. So that weighed on the scale. I can't really say it was weight. It was, but you know, that's what it read, so I'm going to go with that. My lowest weight after I went on my weight loss journey and tried to eat lean, clean, and green and just healthy and implement different things, I got down to 279, and I loved where I was at. I felt amazing. I could do anything. And then my body just kind of was only there for a couple days, and it just bounced back up to around the 285, 288 mark. And that just seemed to be where my body was happy. It didn't really gain, it didn't really lose, and I stayed that way for about a year. I kind of had to put my weight loss journey to the side a little bit because I had a father that had some very serious health problems, and it was very stressful, and I was going up to the hospital a lot and helping my mom take care of him. And so I just kind of felt like I had to put myself on hold. So there was a lot of fast food, a lot of hospital food, a lot of just implementing bad habits because of the crazy schedule of just being, 2 hours away from home, and just not able to really take care of myself properly. When I went to the doctors this week, I'm so excited. My family physician was on board. Didn't really argue with me. I really thought that he was going to be, if there was ever going to be an obstacle, it was going to be him. He was fine, totally fine, didn't give me a hard time, but I wasn't too happy when I saw the scale. I haven't really stepped on the scale much at home. Just been kind of trying to watch what I'm doing and taking better care of myself again. My current weight was 318. It kind of broke my heart a little bit. That's 30 some pounds away from, my 280s, and so that was a little frustrating, but it is what it is. But one of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about is some more reasons why I'm doing this, why I chose this. On the Good Scope, I got a lot of blood work done, and my blood work looks amazing. Internally, my blood work looks like that of an 18-year-old athlete. HDL is amazing. My LDL is really, really low. My cholesterol looks amazing. My liver function is awesome. My kidneys are awesome. Across the board, I am super, super healthy. I have not had any blood pressure issues, but I came out of massive health problems. Massive. We're talking, I had congestive heart failure when I was 33 years old. Massive gastritis, massive IBS, herniations in my neck and in my back, bad knees, chronic respiratory infections, massive allergies. It was just bags and bags of medications in and out of the hospitals all the time. It was very frustrating. I really wasn't living life. I felt pretty caged. And so when I was forced into taking my health seriously, it was for two reasons. One, I knew I had to. It was time to step up. But the other reason is I was trying to get myself healthy, to get my dad healthy, and make sure that he could get on the liver transplant list. I was facing a lot of the same health problems as my father was, and it was really, really hard to see that he's 20 years older than me, and he was in bad shape. He was diabetic. He was on the highest dose of insulin that they create, the max dose. When he would go into the hospital, the nurses would never want to give him his dose. It was the strangest thing. I mean, people think we're crazy, but they always thought it was wrong. We would get pharmacies calling my mom to make sure that this was correct, and we didn't realize it was what it was. Every time we went in, they would up it, but nobody realized how bad it was until we started getting these calls and these nurses refusing to give this dose. And I guess it's deadly, absolutely deadly of a dose. But he had maxed out. There was really no more step from him. So on top of being severe diabetic, he also had cirrhosis of the liver. It was due to a fatty liver. It was not due to drugs or alcohol or anything like that. It was just a fatty liver that turned into cirrhosis. And then after battling that, he ended up with a specific type of liver cancer that was only in cirrhosis patients. And then the complications that arose from all of that, having chemo injected directly into his liver. And it was pretty heartbreaking when I lost him this past June on Father's Day. He went home to the Lord. So my battle in the beginning was to get myself healthy enough to either donate part of my liver to him, or B, get him healthy enough that he would be accepted on the liver transplant list. They finally told him his other complications were beyond what they would allow on a transplant list, and he was denied. That was heartbreaking. So, knowing the pain that I've gone through with having an amazing father, I don't want to do that to my kids. And even though I have reversed a lot of my health problems and I have gotten really healthy, I'm still battling this obesity, this obesity that I cannot get rid of on my own. And I've tried everything. And I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition and supplements and vitamins and exercise. I understand because I dove into that for a good 4 years of just really soaked up every little bit, and I was able to sift through the BS, and I stuck with what made sense scientifically. I have a science background, so it's just, you can kind of weed out the BS. So I am doing this to prevent myself from being diabetic, prevent heart problems, prevent liver problems. Liver problems are seeming to be running in our family. All of the men are having liver problems. My aunt is having massive health problems, heart problems, everything. All the women on my mom's side of the family, all of my grandmother's sisters died very early from heart attacks. They were diabetics. And they just, one time, massive heart attack, they were gone. So I feel like, being almost 37 years old, this is my last-ditch effort to grab a hold of my life and prevent a lot of these things from happening. Doesn't mean that when it's my time, it's not my time. But if it's in my realm of control that I can do anything about it, I want to. So I don't really have a ton to update right now. I kind of feel in some aspects I'm so prepared in the knowledge. I've watched so many videos. I've watched, I've gotten so much knowledge on the surgery itself, but on the other aspect, the home front, being away, knowing, what I'm going to be able to tolerate, what I'm going to be able to eat. I mean, I kind of know the guideline, but things change after surgery. What's going to sit well, what's not. Kind of feel a little bit unprepared, but, I'm just taking my leap of faith. I can go ahead and stop this video right here. You don't even need to continue watching. This last part is for me. Since I am video blogging this, there's some certain things that I want to be able to look back on and know that my steps were directed from the Lord, and He has eased my fears, and He has just opened these doors that otherwise would have been shut. And I want to document these little things that I can look back on and just see His hand working in everything. It started with when I went to see Dr. Gail, the counselor, and she said a very specific phrase that I felt like when I was first getting serious about looking into this, that I was like, I really want to do this, but I'm afraid I'm altering myself. What is God going to think about me altering myself? And I felt Him kind of say to me, who do you think gave the blueprint for the surgery? So, but that could have been in my own mind, and it was said by a couple other people without me ever speaking a word. And it was kind of like confirmation. And the first person was Dr. Gail, when I was seeing her as a counselor just to work through some grief and my frustration with, my weight and things like that. And I was talking to her about proceeding with the surgery. And she said, why not? And I said, well, one of my biggest worries were, that I'm kind of going against what, the Lord made me to be. Am I just made to be fat? Am I designed this way? Or, who am I to go in and alter the structure that He made of me? And she all of a sudden said, who do you think gave those doctors the idea to do this? Who do you think gave the doctors the idea to use a pig valve to save a heart patient? Who do you think gave the doctors the blueprint for having LASIK surgery for people that, are visually impaired? He's the one that is implementing these. It's not just the doctors. And I was just like, wow, that was total confirmation. And then another friend that I confided in also said the same thing. And these were all without me leading up to dropping any hints. It was just kind of fascinating. Also, how everything worked out. There's been zero obstacles. We got our passports. My husband got off with flying colors. Even the detail of my mom in her job, she's got 6 weeks paid vacation. Good for her, awesome, right? But still, it was a certain period of time that when I booked this, she didn't have to do this big heavy load of work that she normally would have had to do because the person was taking a month off from doing these courses in her job, and she wasn't going to have the heavy load of work to do. So that was just going to be a stress off. So it's like her work schedule worked out flawlessly. It's just all these things. It's just these doors that, even with the doctor, I really, really, really thought that my doctor was going to be so against this. And instead, he was supporting me 110%. He's like, let's do this test, this test, this test. When you come back, we're going to follow up with some testing, see how you're doing. If you need anything, you call me. And I was just like, this is incredible. And so for so long, I was not able to make decisions. I was just kind of paralyzed in fear and don't know which direction to go. And when I feel like this decision was placed on me, everything has happened so fast and is lined up so perfectly. And I just have this peace about it that the Lord has something in store for me. And He's a personal God. There's small little confirmations. My friend Amy posted something on Facebook that was a daily devotional. And it was talking about how His love and His protection can go, as far to the ends of the earth. And she meant to tag somebody else in it, and she accidentally tagged me. And she didn't even realize it. But it was just something that somebody I look up to. I love her. I adore her. And she's been a wonderful mentor for me. And He has a certain phrase, a certain verse He wanted me to see. And I got to see it that morning when I was having so much doubt and so much fear in that moment. And it just completely set me at ease. And I thought, it's going to be okay. He's going to protect me, whether I'm in Cleveland or I'm in Mexico. He's going to protect me. And so that was just a few things that I'm off to the races now. I am so ready to do this. I can't say that I don't have moments of I'm a little nervous. How am I going to deal with the after effects of everything? How am I going to be able to stand in the kitchen and cook for my family if it's something I can't eat? Those are going to be some challenges, but I think my faith is going to carry me through. And He's going to get me to the other side. And I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to be the person that I was meant to be. The person that has that light that attracts others that I used to have as a child. But being overweight for so long has kind of dimmed that light and made me feel a little bit more of an introvert. So I'm pretty excited to see my extroverted side again in all situations and feel confident about myself. And I think I'm even going to be okay with some of the skin. it was one of the biggest obstacles for me for the most of my life, thinking about the skin. And now I'm going to be okay with it. One way or the other. I'm either going to be able to have the surgery to have it removed if it's bad enough, or maybe it won't be that bad and I'll just be okay. It's not like I'm going to be walking around in a bikini anyways. I mean, I'm 318 pounds right now. It's not like I would now, so what does it matter? Alright, Rachel. A year from now, you are going to be down over 120 pounds. You are going to see Wonderland. You are going to be happy. You are going to learn discipline. You are going to learn commitment. You are going to learn structure. You are going to learn to put your needs first. And you are going to learn to always have God direct your steps. You are going to be a better mom. You are going to be a better wife. And you are going to be a better friend. And you're also going to be a better businesswoman. All of these things I'm going to speak life over right now, over what's going to happen a year from now. And you will have your farm. You will have your horses. You will have all of these things that are the desires of your heart, because they would not be on your heart if He did not want to give them to you. So, this is you stepping out of the boat. When all of the other disciples wanted to sit in the boat and tell Peter he had of little faith, well, guess what? You are stepping out of the boat so that He can catch you if you fall. So, until next time.